Yeah, ask plenty musician. Them know it, but them can't do it. So people still searching for this truth here, which this reggae music, bring across to them. And the only purpose it serves is to tell the people about Rastafari.
Mic check. 1, 2. Welcome to the Blue Dreamer broadcast. On this edition of Blue Speak, I've got a very special guest, Seth from the Venice Beach Dub Club, the VBDC. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Awesome, bro. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, man.
Much love and respect. Yeah.
Yeah, right back at you.
Thank you. So like I just said, the way I found out about you was through Andreas Exertus's posts that he does on YouTube Wednesdays and Thursdays, Wednesday Ultra, and then I just started catching you on, and I was just really vibing with his vibe. And then I was just kind of paying attention to the people that he had on, and then I caught you, and he plugs your music at the end, reggae music. And I was just like, all right, interesting. And then also I was just feeling your vibes. And so I was like, you and I have kind of been in contact, here and there, just messaging through IG and whatnot. And so I just was kind of like, I'd really like to talk to you, and just on that alone, just kind of feeling your vibes. And then once I heard Stay Cool, one of your latest tracks that you put out, I was just like, all right, respect. Like he knows, so basically what I want to get to is your origins musically, how you got to this point, what influences you, all of that. So, so welcome to the Blue Dreamer broadcast.
Nice, man. Let's get into it.
For sure. So where does it all start? Where is the origin of music? Just in any capacity for you.
Sitting in the back seat of my parents' car, listening to Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young on the 8-track.
All right.
Would be my original inspiration. Either that or Christmas music. I don't know which I remember first, like Muppets and John Denver Christmas. It's a big inspiration.
So you're diehard Christmas, like diehard.
Yeah,
I know that because I've been following you and saying, I see your posts and everything, but even just to mention that is like
that might be the original music that I fell in love with.
Respect.
Yeah. But the special thing about Christmas music is that it's old. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the one time a year we appreciate our roots. You know what I mean? And and then you can kind of see what you've gained and what you've lost, and sometimes
it's pretty much timeless.
You know what I mean? Lost stuff if you want.
Yeah, it's very timeless. And it creates a mood instantly.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
So I love, great lyricists, not even lyricists really, but storytellers, so I'd say Neil Young,
For sure.
Joni Mitchell, Crosby, Stills, Nash, and then, other classic rock that my parents would put on had more of a blues, almost Rolling Stones, kind of like a more like, hey, come on.
Right.
It's more of a party ad libs and stuff. And it's so absorbing all that, and then when hip hop came around, I was, I'm a New Yorker originally. So
okay.
It was straight hip hop for 88 through 95.
Yeah.
And then all kinds of electronic music and everything, and then eventually I got into reggae, making reggae in my 30s.
Nice.
And that's fast forward to where I am now with just a broad range of influences and little tricks I picked up along the way from different genres.
Sure.
And I would say maybe that's what's different about my music is there's a lot of little nods to other genres that are slickly kind of mixed into it to just up the cool level of everything in subtle ways.
Yeah. I mean, cool is definitely the point in a way.
Cool is like the original metaphysical concept.
Yeah,
Like, this is
exactly.
cool. Like, why?
Yeah.
These kinds of pants are
Yeah.
cool. Not anymore. They're not. It's like, why? It's
Yeah.
one of the hardest
And
things to
especially
understand.
with
Yeah, it's
music, man,
undeniable.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like no matter what any musician says, you're trying to be cool, whatever extent that goes to, I mean, like,
Cool things are just cool. You know what I mean?
yeah, for sure. So did you play any instruments or anything like?
Yeah, I play guitar. I've been playing guitar since I was 13. I'm 47 now, so
Dope.
someone can do the math.
Yeah, I've been playing since I was 14 and I'm 44. So
Nice. I still only play
about the same.
rhythm. Like, I've never really got into playing solos and lead. I just
No,
never really practiced.
same. I'm a rhythm player, bro. I don't shred.
Just so I
don't-
can sing and write songs. You
for
know, that's
sure.
it.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
prefer to just have a wireless mic and run around and perform and dance. And
there you
stuff.
go. Same. And I'm a singer too, like definitely because of the rhythms, like I bounce off the rhythms. So I get that. And so like what was high school like were you in bands and
Oh yeah. I was.
of course.
I was in bands where we had original music. But the funny thing was, I've always just absorbed like music and arrangements and like every kind of trick you can do in a song. Like, here we're gonna skip a beat and go to 3/4.
Right.
Then we're gonna do like a half step key change. Then boom. So I've always
Yeah.
just like indexed in my minds like all the different things that are in hit songs and can just like
For sure.
call on that at any time. So I was writing great music, but could not write lyrics. I had nothing. I
Yeah.
just
Do you know how to
it-
read music?
no, I don't know how to read.
You don't
music.
know
I'm not
theory
trained.
or
I
any of
never had
that?
a lesson.
Same.
Well, I mean, I've picked up a lot of music theory along the way, just
sure.
from reading and understanding and stuff.
Paying
But no,
attention,
I
yeah.
can't look at a sheet of music and read anything. But I
Right.
know, I understand, the basic fundamental
Right.
music theory. But yeah, I couldn't write any lyrics, so that really didn't come until like way later in life, the ability to write lyrics. And then it
Sick.
came fast. And then I was like, now it's just clicking for me. So
Yeah. I'm still barely learning to write hooks.
yeah, hooks just come to you. They're just supposed to come to you in the shower. And car or
Yeah.
something like
So
that.
I started, like I said, I started playing guitar when I was 14. I got into a band with a really good friend of mine, probably when we were like 16. And it was always a 3-piece. Like our first band that we played was a 4-piece. So I just basically just played rhythm guitar and was just learning to write songs, listening to like, I'm into rock and metal. I'm into everything music, anything music. I love all of music, but I really because of Nirvana. Nirvana taught me like
that's
I always
funny.
say
I
Kurt
was in a
Cobain taught me
Nirvana-
how to play guitar. You know what I mean?
I was in a Nirvana cover band in high school.
Yeah, he was my first guitar
I've
teacher.
seen them play at the New York Coliseum in 1993 with the Breeders.
Dope. Yeah, I saw them here in San Diego at the Sports Arena in '94.
And that was the first time they played with Pap Smear. They
Yeah.
brought another player, and we didn't know who it was. We're like,
Yeah.
why is there a guy that's
Yeah,
supposed to be
yeah.
power trio? It honestly kind of ruined it for me, to be honest. I was like, I just
Yeah.
want to see the power trio. Like,
Yeah.
I don't need power to be constant,
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I saw them with the Butthole Surfers, and I wasn't really a big fan, but I saw
Oh,
them.
you got to see Nirvana live? That's awesome.
I saw them in December, and then he died in April. So I saw him right before that, and like
Wild.
it impacted my life like so hard. I
Yeah.
still do Kurt Cobain, Kurt Cobain.
It actually hurt my feelings when I turned 28 because I was like, if I was a really great songwriter, I would have died last year.
Yeah, I know, it's funny, dude. When I reached 33, I was like, "Is this it?" Am I
That would have
done?
been my preference, dude.
Yeah.
I would have rather been the
Am I
top
done?
level,
Yeah.
generational songwriter, and then just get off by the
Like Christ died at 33. Is this it, dude?
That's
Am
what
I
I was
done?
aiming at. Yeah.
For sure.
Well,
Yeah.
Plan B is Sisyphus. Just keep pushing the rock up the hill forever.
Yeah, just keep going, man. Just keep going, And then, all right, cool. So, you ever DJ or anything like anything in that capacity?
In the reggae sense, DJing is toasting on the mic. but,
Right.
I think you
Sorry, I
DJing
mean
vinyl
a
record.
vinyl
Yeah,
record spinning.
No,
You ever spin
no
records?
skill for that. No, I'm not really. Actually, I'm a good dancer, so I do have rhythm, but I'm not
Cool.
good with rhythmic things with my hands, like drums,
Okay,
percussion, DJing. Like, just I get kind of nervous and I don't have good hand control.
for sure. Yeah, I was DJing for a while. Well, spinning vinyl. Because of my brother. My brother actually got me into hip hop in the 80s. So, he would play Run DMC and, like Houdini and Grandmaster Flash, Furious Five. So I learned from that old school East Coast that what hip hop was. And then once I, got into like Planet Rock and then, saw Bambaataa and all and the Zulu Nation and all that, I was just like
Oh, yeah.
absorbing all of it. I was just like, whoa. And I was like 8 years old, but it was like, or however old I was, but I got it, And at one point, I kind of gave up on rock music, and then I was like, I want to play vinyl, like, and I actually went out and bought crates of vinyl and got turntables and was doing it because to me it's all the same thing, you know what I mean? Like playing guitar or spinning other people's music and making it sync up, beat matching and all that, and you know what I mean? Like it all makes sense as far as the art form,
Oh yeah, it's all valid, but a thing that always, I see Instagram people make music in amazing ways
Sure.
with the thumb pianos. They go sit in a river with a hand pan,
Yeah.
but they're so persistent with it, you know what I mean, and have such
Yeah.
good attrition. Eventually, their music is popular, and it's like
Right.
that's all valid, but it's in a separate category from songwriting to me.
Right.
I like writing. I like writing. I like to read. I read constantly.
For
I'm
sure.
such a book reader.
Yeah.
And I love writing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the writing plus the music together to me is like this transcendent thing. Whereas you can make music all day. You can be one of these autistic guys playing a guitar, piano,
Right.
bass, and at the same time with 1 million Instagram followers.
Yeah.
But to me, this doesn't approach the transcendence
No,
of the music.
and yeah, I totally get that. And that's funny. And the reason I want to like talk to Thomas or even like Andreas is because of the AI music aspect. Like I kind of want to get there because I know that they're both musicians they're creators, you know what I mean? Like, and I know what the AI aspect of it is. It's kind of just it's like,
we don't know what AI is yet though, so it's like a little hard.
no, I mean, as far as what they're putting out, these songs that they're putting out,
that's not AI though. I mean, we're people are thinking about AGI, like general intelligence, not like we're search engines and stuff.
No, yeah, and I don't want to get deep. It's not important to me. It's just what they're doing.
It's like people are worried about the effect it's going to have on the industry. Those people don't
Oh
realize. The industry is what we don't want, but independent artists are dead. I mean, there's nothing you can do. You can spend as much as you want on Spotify marketing. If you're indie, it's all still handshake with labels. People don't know that,
right?
So they create a new industry of tricking independent artists, trying to distribute their own stuff, and it's like you have nothing else to do. And then you give it all to Spotify for free. They keep all the ad revenue, and then you pay for a promotional campaign too. They keep all that. They keep everything. They keep the music. They keep 100% of all your energy.
Yeah.
And it's like people are worried. People ask me about AI. Are you worried about AI songwriters? It's like, dude, I'm worried that already. It's like the industry is, totally taken over, and there is no room for.
And you have firsthand account. That's the thing, is you are seeing it. You're seeing it in real time because how long have you been doing what you're doing? Not VBDC, but as far as like really pushing music as like core. Like
I've always been pushing art. I started at 13.
Yeah.
And I started putting out albums right away and everything. And we'd go to the library and Xerox the album art and fold it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you go sell it out at shows or outside of shows before I was even old enough to get into
playing
shows.
Backyards and shit.
No, I was in New York, so there's no backyard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind. Sorry. Yeah. That's a Cali thing, I guess.
And also no van to put your gear in. You put your gear down the subway stairs on the ice.
Wow.
And the rain and the snow and everything.
That's crazy.
There's no green room at any of the clubs because the real estate right there. It's like you just
you're on the sidewalk, or
your amp covered in ice, and you're just done.
That's crazy.
I forgot what the question was though.
No, I'm just kind of, I'm interested.
I've been doing it since back then, but then I stopped for like over a decade, and I was a chef actually, and I had a lot of success. And I was like, maybe I can get a regular paycheck and still be an artist. And then eventually when I was like at an executive chef level, I started to realize like, no one's ever going to treat me like an artist. It's service. I'm a servant, no matter how hard I'm just serving. I'll serve the artist dinner. You know what I mean?
Well, especially in New York, right?
I gotta go back to music.
Yeah. And especially in New York.
I've been bi-coastal since I was 18. I was going back and forth. So.
Okay. Where did you serve? Like in New York mainly, or just wherever you found a job? Oh, okay.
No, both. Mostly New York, and then I came out here and I had a restaurant, like a consulting business and stuff.
Okay.
So I did like 12, 13 years almost, and then back to music, So I'd kind of given up on it at one point.
So when did reggae become that's like your pinnacle point of like, this is what I want to, you know what I mean?
I think from like 2009 to 2012, there was like a lot of really strong American reggae bands put
Yeah,
out like good songwriting, good
yeah,
lyrics,
yeah,
and I was just like, this is where the energy is at. Like I want to be pursuing this energy because
yeah,
I was not no longer interested. I think at that point I was listening to mostly drum and bass and electronic music because I
yeah.
was like
Same. That's
over
crazy.
rock. I've
Yeah,
been over hip hop since 1996,
yeah.
since
Same.
you know Biggie died and Puffy started putting out songs. I was like, next genre,
Yeah, and drum and bass was
yeah,
because I was a big
yeah,
fan of
yeah.
like Diesel Boy, DJ
Oh,
Dara,
okay,
like
yeah, cool, cool,
yeah,
cool.
like because I West Coast, so I knew a lot of. Well,
So
I
then
lived in San
I think,
Francisco for a while, and I kind of picked up a lot of like drum and bass in that era, which was like
right on,
2006 maybe, like
cool, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's a great genre, and it's
yeah, like
cool.
John Digweed and
It's just too
Sasha, and I
late at
was
night.
hearing like a lot of electronic.
If that was a little earlier at night, I would still go out to those, but it's just too much of a rave.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but yeah, sorry, I forgot what I was saying there.
No, it's all good. Just hearing, and to me, like it all melds together, which is why I can like part of.
Oh, I remember what I wanted to say. Sorry
Go
about
ahead,
this.
go
Right?
ahead. No,
Interrupt
go
you. But
ahead, go
yeah.
ahead.
What appealed to me about making reggae is it's very formulaic compared to rock and roll. You played
In
rock
what
and roll.
sense? In what sense?
Rock and roll is riffs, right? But a
Sure,
riff is a totally unique thing.
sure, right.
So it's like totally just the rhythm and the melody are both totally unique, and
Yeah,
that's like the whole song. The drummer will follow that and go with that, and a lot of tom stuff.
right, right.
So everyone just goes with the riff, and then the next part of the song is like a different riff for the verse or whatever. Reggae is totally different. The melody, aside from the vocals, is the bass line. So the only one playing a melody is the bass. So if you come up with something you hum in your head,
Right,
that's the bass line. Then all you have to do is figure out which guitar chords go with it, and you know where they go. They go skank,
right,
skank,
right,
skank, skank,
right.
skank, and then the organ does that, but with the bubble timing.
Yeah, the bubble. Yeah, yeah, the bubble up.
Beat you and the piano bangs along with the guitar, and you can pump out a lot of songs really
Yeah,
quick that way. And
yeah,
then you have so much time left to deal with the details. Maybe I want a lead line, and now using music software, you can pick any instrument. Oh, maybe I want steel pan or a flute in this one, and if I want, I'll bring in live horns and other live musicians and stuff like that.
layer it. You just layer it. Yeah,
Yeah. But there's a formula to start with, so it really encourages you to
for
just get
sure.
right into it. As soon as you have a melody, you're like, that's the bass line, and what are the chords? Now am I inspired to sing any other melody with that?
Yeah.
And it's like the ideas just come way more organized with reggae than they do with rock.
So, who was the first reggae artist that you recognized as far as
I mean, Bob Marley,
of
obviously,
course, right? Yeah, okay. I was thinking about this right before we were
as an
talking.
adult, Burning Spear, I would say.
Okay. Okay.
Actually, but interestingly, on like dance hall reggae was pretty big
Oh yeah.
in New York. I didn't really even know it was reggae. I thought it was just I thought it was hip hop, to be honest, because they
Kind of.
play
Yeah.
it. Funkmaster Flex would play it on like Friday and Saturday night. He'd
Yeah.
mix
Yeah.
it like "Ring the alarm, another sound is dying," and I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, this is wicked. I like this
Yeah.
one." Heads high, killing with the flow. It's just like
Yeah.
in hip hop, and I was like, "Yeah, I like this like Jamaican hip hop."
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that I was getting into reggae, but the artist who did this song, Ring the Alarm, Tenor Saw, I got like really into
Yeah.
him
I know.
and emulating his style and stuff. So I'd say Burning Spear on the root side
Okay.
and Tenor Saw on the dance hall side are my two
Hell yeah.
big options. Yeah.
Well, I mean, most people that I've heard will say hip hop came from reggae music. I mean, which,
I don't
like
know.
you said, DJing is
I agree with what
talking
you
on the
said.
mic
It's all
over
one big
rhythms.
pot of music.
Of course,
I
of
hate
course,
that
of
I
course,
hate
of
that we're
course.
divided
And
into scenes
no,
and genre.
and I understand. I don't like to,
Yeah.
pick and pinch, and I get that. But like, well, especially KRS-One, being Jamaican, and he's just like, oh, it comes from rocking
Yeah,
the
Keith Murray
mic.
too. My favorite rappers.
Like
Keith Murray.
you, Roy, just vibing over rhythms. I mean, like
Oh yeah.
I get it. I
Oh
get
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
You know. So, yeah, Bob Marley, obviously, because I know for a fact that like that's what I heard first.
I mean, the songwriting's incredible, bro. It's incredible.
Well,
Like,
it was before I even knew what was really
yeah.
going
If you
on.
look a list of all his number one hits, it's like the lyrics to all of his songs. It's like name another artist
Yeah.
where you know the lyrics to all their songs
Yeah.
without even trying to. You've
Yeah.
just absorbed it culturally. Like the
Yeah,
Pledge of
I was
Allegiance,
hearing Legend in like junior high before I knew what reggae was, and then
right? Yeah,
like
yeah,
once I could recognize it was years later. But what happened was I was in high school. I remember my homie Travis Diffenbaum shout. he straight up brought DJ Handgun mixes. And I don't know if you're familiar with DJ Handgun, but that's basically when I first learned about like Johnny Osborne, Don Carlos, and like DJ Handgun would mix all these. And that
Two good
was like,
shout outs right there. Those are two of my favorites.
yeah. And that's when I learned that style, the Roots Radics and all that. Like it was just all like, and I was like, whoa, like that's where reggae like blew up for me. And then even at that time, I had homies from high school that were starting reggae bands. There was a band down here called Stranger. There's Roots Covenant. So I would go to their shows with my friends, and we just, you know what I mean? So it was like, it was cool to see. But then I started like wanting to know more artists. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to learn for myself, listening to like metal and rock at the same time, but then reggae and like, it was just... It's very interesting to me to see the melding of, like you said, it's all art. There's no differentiating lines that say, well, you should only listen to this or that. It's whatever you feel. So I was learning those things, and then like even now, still, my favorite genres, quote unquote, or I would say it was like rocksteady. When I was listening to like Alton Ellis and all that, and then like, and ska, like listening to the old school Wailers from the 60s, and then like, but then hearing all the Studio One shit, and like, it was just like, oh man, like that. I like that there's new bands creating the old school sounds, So that's where I keep...
there's a few like modern day bands. I ain't gonna shout no one out, but
For sure.
there's a few sound sound pretty old school.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's like it's so funny. Like even within reggae, there's like Studio One people, there's Father Sean.
Right.
Like it's like there's a lot of pretension, man. Unfortunately, what I've learned from actively participating and releasing music in multiple genres is that a scene is a scene is a scene. It doesn't matter if you're going to a political convention, a drum and bass party,
Exactly.
church. Everything is just a scene, and the same kind of relationships and interactions are happening between humans everywhere you go, regardless of genre or intention or anything. So it's like that is tiring, and I just feel like that's that's where the stage we're at human awakening and development right now, where it's just things only seem possible if you pick a lane and just color within those lines. Like you got to pick something. Like you can't be like an airplane pilot doctor who writes reggae. You know what I mean? You got to pick one and then like do the things that are prescribed to that.
Right. For the majority, I would say yes, but for individuals that choose to just pick what they want and stick with their guns.
But also the beautiful thing about putting out an album is you can put other genre songs on it. They're just not singles. I do that all the time. You know what I mean? There's like a country rock song on my first album. The second album's got a punk song on it, a couple other surprises, I would say. But it's that's the beauty of an album is like you've got your singles. Well, I kind of plan it out like I'm like half of it is hits and like half of it is like intentional like B-sides, like deep cut stuff, and like I grew up listening to albums, man, which is a whole different experience to what people have right now. It's just to sit back and listen to the entire album, and people knew that's the way you'd receive it. So they would construct the entire album to be one piece of art altogether, not a compilation of everything you released since 2015, which is what people do now. Put out single. Then when you have like 15 of them, put them together and you've got an album.
I mean, even like EPs are the thing, or the new album basically in a way, like, I mean, there's so many bands just putting out EPs, which I'm not opposed to, like if you're doing
here's the thing. People used to listen to whole albums. Now they don't. So if you release a whole album, you're basically throwing half the songs in the trash because people ain't going to listen to them. So it's like,
and I'm guilty of
as an album because you're trying to make this kind of piece of art you remember that doesn't fit the times anymore. So it's almost like we're going to die anyhow. You might as well just release the music exactly the way you want to and not worry about whether it generates any interest or not.
Yeah. But do you also agree with, and I'm just asking this off the top, but like, rolling with the times, like not you could still have your own identity because of the past, you've seen the rise and the fall.
I experiment trying both ways, and you know what I mean? Like life is short, and haven't committed to one or the other and just wrote it out for decades. But I don't honestly know the answer to that. I don't know. It's an important question that I don't know the answer to.
Yeah, but you just do what you do.
You try to just, trust your instincts
Right.
and examine, always audit your past performance. It's really important, just a life lesson in general, to like, you know, see what you predicted would happen and
Right.
then the steps you followed, and did it happen or not? And if not, how are you going to do it different next time? Or are you going to try something different altogether, or do something, you know what I mean? So
Right.
it's like a lot of times you just bang your head against a wall your whole life trying the same thing over and over, which is
Yeah.
kind of where I'm at right now with like Spotify and DistroKid and all this stuff. I'm like, I'm going to release, I have an album I've been sitting on since last summer. And when I release it, I'm going to do it in some different kind of funny way. Like when Wu-Tang had sold like one copy for
You get it?
I'm going to do something weird. Not that obviously, because it's going to be an embarrassing little figure that people auction, but I'm going to think of something weird to do and just try to shake the box.
For sure.
I'm sick of doing the regular distribution right now.
No, yeah, for sure. And I respect that, man. Like, and it's
Life's too short, man. You can see a path to nowhere, so it's like, why would I walk on this path to nowhere?
Right.
So go off into the dark woods and see what you can find.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And like, if you've got to open your trunk and, burn CDs and write your name on it and there's no art or, it's like, I don't know. I feel like so many people have done so many things and to get caught up in the times can happen. And I think that is what's happening, is people are getting caught up in the times in a way, just from hearing what you're saying, but it doesn't affect people that are trying to make a difference, like even for themselves. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like you're trying to make a difference just for yourself.
Everyone wants to make a difference, but I think if you're meant to, you will. I think everyone does make a difference, first of all, on their own, like just sending out little ripples. Not everyone is Elon Musk, but you never know how many ripples away from something you did affected
Sure.
Elon Musk or something like that. But people want to, like Joni Mitchell said, you want to etch your name into stone for eternity. That's a normal social condition of a human being, is you want acknowledgement, at a minimum.
Sure.
Respect is good. Definitely.
Yeah.
You fine.
Yeah. I've been doing what I've been doing for 20 plus years. I won't stop. There's no reason for me to stop unless I stop myself, and I've been through a lot.
You should stop. I just think people should stop going with the flow. You know what I mean? Because the flow is going in a really terrible direction right now.
Sure.
Where all the indie artists are, not only do they have no chance, but they're also giving extra money to the people who took their chance away, and
Sure.
it's not going to. You know what I mean? So it's just it's really upsetting for me to watch it. And like, I'm not separate from it. That's what I've been doing the whole time, is using CD Baby, DistroKid,
Sure.
everything on every platform, YouTube, Spotify, for free. People basically, if you value your music at zero, you give it to a platform that's going to give it away for zero, like YouTube, then why is anyone else going to value your music either?
Right.
If it's worth less than a cup of coffee, a song is worth less than a sticker of the song. If you printed stickers of the song, you get more in the sticker than you would on the song. Like, a song is like divine inspiration and like one of the most beautiful things. And it's like the value has been psychologically removed from it. And we need to take it back from Spotify and be like, you can't have this anymore. We can't be successful either way. So, we've got to starve that beast. I really do feel that. So, easier said than done. Let's see if I actually do that with my next album, or if I cop out.
I have a feeling you will.
Never know. I might chicken out, bro.
Yeah, well, whatever happens.
Real, might as well keep it real. I try
sure.
to be the realest guy on the realest guy with a podcast mic.
There you go. Me too. Without a podcast mic.
That was a good podcast, but it's just a regular shirt. All right. Cool.
Oh, SM7B, bro. Come on.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's why I don't call this a podcast. I call it a broadcast. Like, I'm just...
Okay. I didn't know that, man.
No,
That's
it's
nice.
all good. It's all good. It's just my own.
Yeah. Is anyone listening to this on an iPod anymore? I mean,
yeah.
iPod. Is that what the pod is for? It's iPod, right?
Yeah, exactly. Podcast. Right. Yeah, iPodcast. Yeah.
I'm surprised Android isn't like seeding the market with like viral suggestion to call them Droidcasts.
Droidcasts, yeah, exactly. That might be the next level, I don't know.
What's up, guys? Make sure you smash the button and check out my new Droidcast.
Yeah. Like and subscribe.
Yeah,
Hit the bell. Hit the bell. Smash the bell.
Desperation.
Hey, it is what it is, and
Oh man, it
I
could be
gotta
better.
do what I
We
gotta
could do
do,
better.
I gotta do what I
I
gotta.
could do way better, but we could all aim higher for sure.
Sure. And that's what I respect about your vibes, bro, is you're very positive, and I appreciate that. I really do. And, because as, even calling it the Blue Dreamer broadcast, I am the Blue Dreamer, so my dreams are in blue. That doesn't mean I'm sad. It's just, for me, everything I've ever chosen and just kind of in retrospect is like always tinged with some blue, so that means heavy or deep or to me. So I just go with that because that's who I am, and now I have a daughter. I have a 4-year-old daughter, and I see
Oh,
it
wow.
in her, and I'm like, oh shit, this shit's real, bro. Like, it's real.
Got the blues.
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I love Roy Orbison. I love, what I mean? Like, I get it. But that doesn't, it's not a
No, I
bad
mean,
thing.
I'm not always positive. Like sometimes I'm extremely negative for prolonged periods of my life, but
Sure.
like that's
Sure.
life, And by the way, like I mean, I've put myself through a lot of suffering, and a lot of suffering just came my way throughout my life, but I don't think I'd be a good songwriter without that. And like
Exactly.
ironically, when I was, just I don't want to say praying to God because I didn't grow up religion, but I was
Sure.
just like stating my intention to the universe or praying to God or
Sure.
whatever. All I wanted was to become a great songwriter. I did. It's not very satisfying
For
because I
sure.
should have been more specific
You
and like included some other bells and
had
whistles,
to put some
like dance
details
for a good
into the
audience.
prayer.
You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
For
But
sure.
that actually did come true, and it was an extremely painful process to get from someone who isn't a natural writer and couldn't write anything to go through all these just really bad life experiences. But then at the end, now I have such an easy time writing, and like I blow myself away, like,
Yeah.
and I don't even mind saying it because I'm an extremely hard critic on myself, and
Same.
I wrote for 20 years just terrible songs,
Sure.
so to look at it now and then to also look at like my heroes and stuff like that, like I do feel like my songwriting is like up on the level I always wanted it to be on, like the people I
Yeah.
admire. And
Honestly,
but
your voice, you got a great voice, dude. And I am a stickler for, when you sing, when people sing, like they don't understand how to find their voice. I had to learn to find my voice. And I've had so many people, like I answer calls for a living basically. And I've had random just people like on the phone be like, "Wow, you got a great voice. You should be in radio or something." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." Like, I know, but I'm talking to you right now, when I want to be home writing songs. So I had to learn to find my voice, and I'm still finding it in a way. But there's a baseline like level of you got to find your voice. You know what I mean? Like to be a good singer. Because I can go to
I'm still finding
karaoke.
mine.
I can go to karaoke and crush some shit. I've done it.
I'm still finding mine. I've always been so envious of people who have a sound, like a Kurt Cobain.
But
He's got a
you
sound.
do have
Every
a sound
song
though.
sounds like.
You do have a
Well,
sound.
I know
I
I
hear
don't
it.
think
I hear it.
myself that way, but I purposely sing. I use different. Way before I even started singing, I did imitations and cartoon voices and all the Muppet voices.
Mimicry is kind of the first
So
level
I
of.
don't know. I don't know what my really natural. This is just my natural
Sure.
speaking voice, but this is from smoking a lot of weed too. I didn't used to sound this like Alex Jones.
You got that rasp, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I do. So I really embraced singing raspy at some point,
Sure.
and then I also just learned to sing a little better over the past just few years from doing
Sure.
other things. I was like, now I realize I don't even really need to sing raspy. I can go through the same range without it. But
Well,
at the end of the
let
day,
me tell you
I'm
this. Let me bring this up real quick. Just thought
okay.
off the
Okay.
top. So there's the term white boy reggae. You've heard that term,
Oh my
right?
God. Yeah,
Of
yeah, yeah.
course. Like
I use it
iration,
myself.
revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, iration is Samoan, but
no, but I mean, I'm just saying these bands like
Cali roots is what I would call it. Cali reggae.
right. And Jamaican, they come here. I've seen straight up
Jamaicans
Jamaican
abandoned
artists.
reggae, by the way. They're not making reggae. They're making soca and dancehall. So it's like it's lucky
Right.
kept alive somewhere, which is Germany, Italy,
Sure.
United States,
Sure.
Hawaii, Moa, Fiji.
Yeah, but they come here and they get a reception to playing that old school. I saw Don Carlos like sometime last year. I mean, they come here, and I've heard from friends that they're just like, this is the hub for them because they can just come and play the old
Yes.
school hits, and they just draw the crowds, bro. And it's like, so I've heard that for a while, at least over a
Got to
decade.
do an after party for a Don Carlos show.
Dope.
He didn't
Respect.
come to the after party, but
It's all good. It's
I
all
wouldn't
good.
be cool with that.
It's
Think you
all
think he'll
good.
come? We played a song of his doing just we played Favorite Cup. We're like, it'd be so cool if he
Yeah, hell yeah. So,
yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. So I kind of hear the difference. You know, what I mean, like, I always tell people, like, I know if I'm gonna like a song within the first like 10 seconds. Like, I just know there's a vibe, and if that vibe isn't there for me, I already know. You know what I mean? So you know, when I started getting heavy into like you know, like I said, Johnny Osborne and Winston Hussey and like, you know, I mean, all these old school cats that were, I just vibed on certain songs or certain albums, and I was just like, oh, this is reggae, dude. Like whatever. But then when I would hear like my friends playing songs, and you know, they try and imitate a certain vibe, you know, a certain like what do you call it, like a canter, like a, you know what I mean, like,
Sure, yeah, yeah.
and it's like it doesn't always have to be Rasta bum clad man. It's like, no, dude, you
No, I
don't,
mean, yeah,
just feel it
that ain't my
natural.
style, but
No, but I feel like with you, it's more natural. Like from the artists that I was hearing at that time, like Johnny Osborne and those guys, like I felt their vibes, and then like once I started, like I said, some of my friends were playing in reggae music, and it was like they would grow the dreads, and it was like I was kind of like, that's not really like okay. I mean, they were good bands, they were good artists, but it was kind of like trying to portray something as opposed
yeah. I
to,
mean, that's not why I got into it because I was already in my 30s, so I
for
wasn't
sure.
gonna like I wasn't gonna go into a phase and wear red, gold, and
Right.
green everywhere I went and stuff. And by the way, I think it's fun. It's fun when people do that. It's fun.
Sure. I mean, it's a sign of respect, you know, and I get that, dude. Like,
I don't
it's
know. It's like peacocking, you know. I bet, but we all peacock in our own ways, you know.
sure.
Everyone wants to look nice, but yeah, I mean, like a lot of people hate on. It's one of the easiest things to hate on someone for if you're like a white reggae artist, you know what I mean? But
Right.
forgetting that Bob Marley was half white or whatever, who
Right.
cares? But
Exactly.
like one of the disappointing things is
That's
like
funny.
I have found that it's not the most welcoming environment, honestly, for uh I guess just white artists, you know. It's not
Right.
really it's not, it could be more inclusive and welcoming.
Sure.
I've had
Sure.
somebody tell me I shouldn't use a patois, and I barely ever, if I do, it's just like unconscious almost just from being around it. You know, it's
Sure.
not, I got like write lyrics. One song I wrote lyrics where I used like patois, and I regret it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that bad. I wasn't like snow or something. Anyway, I had
Yeah.
someone tell me one time, you know, you shouldn't use a patois, but this person also is not from Jamaica. And I said, but you're not from Jamaica. He goes, yeah, but I'm an islander. I go,
Okay.
yeah, but your island doesn't have a patois, bro. Your island has pidgin. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Right.
you're South Pacific. You're not a Caribbean islander. So I was like, you're just saying your skin tone allows you to imitate Jamaicans.
Right. Exactly. You know, and that's in every genre of every
Oh
bit
my
of
God,
every
yeah, the whole
aspect of
world is
music.
is mostly ignorant, you know. So
Yeah,
it's
picking
wherever
and poking and prodding and
it's amazing, bro, because you know you can't take people at face value, whatever they are. If they can tell
sure.
you their religion, don't assume that they read the book and follow any of the values.
Which
You know
is
what I mean?
sad, but
People pick a club, pick a genre, pick their colors they want to wear, whatever it is. Don't assume they understand what they're signed up for.
right, exactly. You
Which is
know,
on me, you know, because once you should learn, you should be able to learn and figure this stuff out and adjust your expectations accordingly and not take things personally.
and it comes from experience, I would say. You know what I mean? Like it, that's what I chalk it up to, you know. Wisdom or experience, to me it's the same thing, you know, and it's just like, oh, you learn as you go. We're all learning as we go,
Yeah,
but the underlying layer, you know, as far as for me is when it comes to music, it's like if it's good, it's good. Like
yeah,
it
yeah. So two genres,
shines.
good and bad, and you should always be trying to push forward with whatever you're doing. And my music is pushing reggae into a direction, and maybe it's not better, but it's pushing it into a direction it hasn't been in before. So I'm pushing it into new areas. I'm doing my own thing. I'm taking pre-existing, just like all human development. I'm taking something pre-existing. I'm putting my own spin,
Yeah.
my own touch on it. And if anybody has a negative feeling about that, that speaks more towards them than it does to me. You know what I mean? And I feel totally stoked and chuffed on the music I'm making and all that. And just uh, it's
But
that's
you care about it.
I do also care that people receive it, because what you're trying to do with art is communicate with people, right? You're trying to reach people in a way that language can't. You can't just sit someone down and convey to them the feeling of Miracle on 34th Street. They're going to have to like watch it. You know what I mean? So it's like you're trying. It's successfully done all the time with famous movies and albums. You're like, can I ever reach someone and have them understand me? Because no one who knows you is going to ever understand you. It has to be a stranger. That's a Hemingway. Only people who don't know you can understand you.
Yeah. I have this story that I've shared with people that like like I said, I listen to heavy music like metal and rock, and there's only one time in my life where I was driving home from work, and when I play music in my car, it's always loud. Like I'll roll my window, all my windows out are just loud. I like it loud. Like I'm used to everything just loud. And one time some dude rolled up on me at a red light, and he was just like, bro, what are you listening to? And like out the window, like, do you have any Grey Poupon? Like that kind of moment. And he was just like, what are you listening to? I was like, I think it was like Deftones or something. And like, he's like, dude, that shit fucking raw. I was like, finally, like one time that somebody I was like, I've always been waiting for that.
They should make a new word for the feeling of wanting to share a song that you heard with someone else, but then they want to have their own experience and not share your experience with the song. Like you can't have like a threesome with them in the song.
Yeah, exactly.
I gave up on that. I no longer, except for my own music, which also doesn't work. You can't share music with people. People have to find things their own ways so they can tell their own story about finding it.
Right.
So like if you buy someone like a book for Christmas, you're guaranteeing that person is never going to read that book. You just deprive them of that book by buying it for them.
Yeah,
you should have left it in their bathroom or something and not mentioned it.
They'd be like, you could have just got me a gift card, bro. That would have been cool too.
Just leave it outside their doorstep. They'd be like, oh my God, it's like Kismet. I just found this book.
It's almost a little stocky, but I
got to think if there's some marketing approach for my music that follows it.
Crazy. So do you think about that a lot too? You're also kind of like, fuck, what can I do different? Like,
oh my God. Yeah. I don't want to come across as not neurotic. I'm totally neurotic about it.
Sure.
Yeah. I feel like I'm running out of time. I'm almost 50 and I might just honestly retire and I could do without the stress of working so hard and also funding out of my own pocket,
sure.
Budget music videos and albums and all these projects and stuff. And then seeing, just getting this hollow feeling of it's not charting in a positive direction. You know what I mean? And it's tough, man. It eats you up inside and you don't know what to do. And that's where I'm at right now. Like I've got more music than I can release done. So it's
crazy.
Like I keep getting ideas for songs. And for the first time in my life, I'm actually stopping myself and I'm not even going to record them on my voice recorder. I'm just like, no more right now. Like we're having a problem. We're not out of songs.
Right. Yeah, that's not the point. So do you do you produce? Do you do production, or you just strictly?
I do production, but not engineering. Like I've got two really good friends that are great producers, but I'm actually doing the production. I'm just relating to them what I want them to do because they have know how to use software.
So you create demos and then what's your process?
I'll show up at the studio and be like, find the beats per minute so you can open up a session. I worked with programmed drums. I've never recorded. Well, I have recorded live drums on like terrible 4-track recordings.
Sure.
And like but with reggae, it's all been programmed drums. So spend a ton of time making the drums sound super realistic, and I know exactly all the fills I wanted to do and everything.
Crazy.
Just flesh that out as I go. And then live bass, live guitar. Between me and my producers, we can play all the instruments except for horns, which I can order remotely.
Yeah.
And the process is I have the idea and I sit down and I'm like, let's get the beats per minute. What kind of beat is it? Which is easy in reggae too, because it's pretty much going to be some kind of steppers, one drop, rockers, so it's a rockers.
Right.
All right. What are the chords? All right. Piano goes E minor, F, G, whatever it is. So cool. Let's play that on the keyboard. Now let's play the organ. All right. What do you want? Just guitar skank or cricket? All right. Let's do that. Let's play that. What's the bass line? All right, the bass line goes like this, do,
right.
Whatever it is, they play the bass line, record that. And then it's like, now I'm going to do some scratch vocals,
Yeah.
And then just keep chipping away at it from there. And usually a song will take between, I would say, the average song takes about 24 hours of studio time.
Sure. Yeah.
Which is a lot.
It is a lot for studio time, yeah, for sure.
Yes, 24 hours studio time.
But to get it like final...
I do 8-hour days. When I go to the studio, I go for a full day, And
But that's like
so
final packaged, clean, polished, done, set to just
except for last minute revisions and mastering and stuff like that. Yeah.
sure. So do you write in the studio like lyrically or
Well, like there's been one or two situations specifically where I did that. I did that very recently.
yeah.
I did a new theme song for Rob Van Dam's One of a Kind podcast, the pro
Okay.
wrestler and a
Oh
wrestling
yeah, I
works
saw
out
that. I saw that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
friend and WWE and ECW champion Rob Van Dam. I did the new theme song for his One of a Kind podcast. I wrote the lyrics to that on the way to the studio. It was an existing song that was going to be didn't really fit on the album, so I didn't know what to do with it. And I was like, all right, let's just sacrifice it to this. And so I had the vocal melody, but I wrote the lyrics in my head on the way there. And the only other instance of that was my Christmas song, Christmas Time thing. I wrote all of it on the way to the studio the
Did
day
that
I
stress
thought of it.
you out at all?
No, I was in a flow state, dude. I was
You just felt it. All right.
driving there.
For sure.
And the way I write lyrics is I'll put on a podcast in the background and then zone it out as like white noise. That's like the easiest way for me to write is to like block out a podcast accidentally.
Yeah.
So I just had something on the way there, and it was a joy, because everything was coming to me. And by the time I got there, I had a hook, two verses, and a bridge, and an hour and a half. And so it was pretty. I got there and I was like, "Give me pencil and paper right away." So I could
And
write this stuff down.
do you record like on voice recorder or do you
Only melodies I can
Yeah.
remember. I don't write down any of the lyrics at all.
words?
Just
Yes, 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 yes.
head, like, it's just saved in a document in my head, and I can edit it anytime.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, like I said, learning to write hooks now more so. Well, so what happened was I was in a band for a long time and like basically the same band since I was 16 years old. Just in different iterations, but still playing the same songs. And like at one point, like 2 years ago, I just got tired. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, it's just, I'm done. I played one show that was like a benefit show for one of my very good friends that passed away. And I was playing a song that I wrote in high school and I was like, I don't want to do. And I was like actually getting sloppy and like kind of nervous. And I never get nervous on stage. Like I'm never scared to sing or play, or I thrive in that situation. But I was just like, I was looking at my fingers and I was like, I can't. I was like Marty McFly, like starting to disappear. I was like, what is going on
What was
here?
happening?
And then that's when I decided, I was like, I'm done with this for now, maybe forever, but for now. So I started my solo project, which I called Devotee. And I was just like, I'm just going to write songs for me now and focus on, like, I don't have to play guitar and sing at the same time. So I'm going to write songs and then I'm going to write lyrics, but I want to write hooks. I want to like really get into it. So like I'll even be at work and demo shit on my phone, like in the parking lot on my 15-minute break or on my half-hour break, and just because it makes me more like, it gives me more drive to be creative, but make it tight, make it sick, make it good, So that's what I've been up to.
I've never written a hook. They all just come to me like a special delivery. I have to write the verses only.
Yeah, I mean, if I hear, music, I can write something to anything. I mean, give me a sound and I'll make something to it.
I mean, I get like the words to the hook and everything, just like divine inspiration. I don't even do it.
Yeah.
I just receive it. And then I have to figure out the verses. And usually what's really funny is like the first verse will come really easily because it's like organic, just like the hook.
Right.
But I'm like, now I need another one,
Right.
and it like starts to become a derivative of the first one. It doesn't have, independent value and stuff. And so it's a trip, man. And that's another thing where it's like, you need two, you can't stop one. But if you look at you brought up like Johnny Osborne, Alton Ellis, Reggae, they always repeat the second, like the first verse. Right. The second verse will just be the second half of the first verse repeated. Right. There's only one verse in those songs. It just gets repeated. Night Nurse, Gregory Isaacs, Dennis Brown, all of them, not Bob Marley, because he's like, lyrics, but a lot of those guys just repeat. And like the hook is something that repeats anyhow. So like, who says that like certain parts of songs are meant to repeat X amount of times, other parts can't repeat? It's like they're in, with the at the dawn of reggae, there was a lot of people who had never been taught these conventions and just didn't know them. So they just did what came to them,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And it's just crazy. I love reggae music so much. Like I can't help myself but to dance, to skank. Yeah. Like I can't. And even bands that do hybrid type, like there's a band from here, from Chula Vista, where I'm from in South San Diego.
Where it is.
B-side players, you know, and I used to see them in high school, and they would play like Latin style, but like then incorporate reggae. And it was just like, I'll never forget, I was at one of their shows, and like I do my own dance. Like I lose all in a bit. I just lose myself. And but it's a skank. It's like, you know what I mean? Like it's in the style of skank, and it's just like, I feel reggae in a certain way. And I never forget, after the show, some random lady came up to me and she was like, I really like the way you dance. I was like, you were watching me? I was like, what is wrong? Okay, cool. I was like, thank you, respect, dude. Like,
Not that many genres of music left for people to actually dance. Like, and with reggae, I host a show every Sunday in Long Beach, and it's kind of like an older crowd, you know, and older musicians and stuff, and like everybody like dances like partner dance. It's like, it's, you know,
it just has that vibe, you know what I mean? It makes you want to dance if you're into it, you know. It's not for everybody, but
I do love that people respect the tradition of reggae and keep it alive, but I also think, you know, you got to make room for people who are just inspired to do it their own way.
For sure.
Yeah.
And speaking of their own way, let's get into your music, please. So I had asked you to please approach me with 3 songs that you wanted to play.
I picked one from each album.
There you go. So what I usually like to do is I like to play it, and then we just kind of talk about it. I want to hear what you have to say about them, like how they came up or what you're talking, anything, whatever. But
the whole thing or a sample?
No, I'll play a little bit and just.
Just let me know. Just let me know. I'm just curious.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's up to you. I'll play the whole thing. I don't give a shit.
No, but do what you're going to do. Just tell me what you're going to do so I know if I've got 30 seconds or 3 minutes.
Nah, for sure. So I'm going to play Pure Bloods first. I'm going to kind of go in ascending order. So I think Pure Bloods was the album.
Prepare for War off the first album.
All right, cool.
Pure Bloods is off the second, and Stay Cool the third.
All right, cool. Then there we go. So this song's called Pure Bloods.
But Prepare for War comes first if you're going in order.
Oh, all right, for sure. Cool.
Yeah, my bad. You can edit that out.
It's all good. I'm still learning, bro. I'm still learning.
No, you're good, man.
I'm fresh. Here we go. Venice Beach Dub Club.
Oh my gosh.
Get in on it.
I had a vision, oh my Lord. What a wickedness I saw. It was real, not a dream. Let me tell you what I seen. There was demons, everyone a screaming. Brimstone, hellfire, everyone a cry out. A great flood, red rivers of blood. A plague, a box got me shaking in my socks, baby. Who's that knocking down my door? Think we better pray for peace, prepare for war.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right, so
Pray for peace, prepare for war.
what do you mean by prepare for war? What are you talking about?
It's a good old Bible quote, man. Like, you know, you hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. And it's kind of mixed in with like a sign of the times prophecy. You know, I didn't literally have a vision, but I had a feeling that built up over time. And it was right, by the way, because I put that this song was from 2018, and then 2020 came around, and you got a plague, a pox, and all this stuff.
There you go. You were setting them up.
And the verses of the song. By the way, this song is delivering.
Oh, never mind them wicked things I saw. I'm busy making music with the band, ramming shows without my friends. Wake up and do it again. Hope this party never ends. But that dang vision came again. There were devils, demons, everyone is screaming. Brimstone, hellfire, everyone a fire. A great flood, red rivers of blood. A plague,
I like that little horn. That's so dope, dude. It's kind of like your eyebrow goes up. You're like, huh?
Jaw connection horns.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the song is about like maybe things are looking up and they're going well for you, but don't forget that like the world is like full of like war and plague and pestilence. Like that stuff is knocking at your door. You know,
Right.
you get so sucked into your own personal story, and it's like, don't forget, you know, it's a jungle out there.
For sure. So one thought I had, honestly, when I was listening earlier, I'm a big fan of Luciano, dude, and I feel like you kind of emulate him in a way. I don't think it's intentional, but I hear him and you for some reason. Does that?
I never heard the I never heard that before, but
Does
he's
that
not
make
a big
any sense to
inspiration
you?
of mine. But yeah, I mean, sure, whatever
sure.
you hear, we might have something similar that I haven't thought of yet going. But something about that song that I like to do is that's a very upbeat, dancey song, but the
Yeah.
message is like really heavy. So that's like a spoonful of sugar to make the medicine go down.
I like that. I like that for sure. That shit would definitely get me dancing.
Yeah. And there was, I think the first line of the first verse, I was like, let me record that again. And in the middle, I did like a, and I was kind of like, that kind of shook something loose in my brain where I was like, I could be doing a lot more ad libs and stuff, like bluesman stuff. I was like, now that I'm doing reggae, I think I need more ad libs.
Oh yeah.
So that's something I had to consciously focus on.
That's dope. All right, next up we got Pure Bloods. Let's go.
Right.
Run it.
Take a backseat, I wanna keep myself clean. I'm so organic. Don't wanna cover my face, my smile lights up the place. So please don't panic. My social credit score is gonna be on the floor. I would reckon the way it's going right now, the world will end anyhow. Any second. To all my pure bloods, don't trust the science. Outcasts living in defiance, saying prayed up so nothing can go wrong. No GMO, the way we belong. Pure blood, don't trust the science. Outcasts living in defiance, saying prayed up so nothing can go wrong. No GMO, the way we belong.
So obviously, I think that song speaks for itself.
What?
I think that song speaks for itself.
Yeah, it's a protest song, man. It's a protest song.
Don't want no mRNA, I'll have to go my own way if I can make it.
But it's delivered very cute and harmless.
It's
Like,
great.
You can't get mad at the messenger. That's what it's all with a wink and a hug. Like, come on.
I like what you're doing, man. I love it.
Or take a ride on the train. I'm stuck in traffic. Up in the land of the free, the home of liberty.
ASMR.
That's it.
Tragic.
Love it.
Nowadays, things are moving fast.
Here's some 90s rock.
There you go.
Hold on to yesterday and make it last. Everywhere I turn, the faces seem strange. People changing up their DNA. You are the pure blood, don't trust the science. Outcasts living in defiance, saying prayed up so nothing can go wrong. No GMO, the way we belong. Pure blood, don't trust the science. Outcasts living.
I just hear the sharpness in your delivery, like, I mean, with like auto tune and all that. Like, I'm a purist, so I don't believe in any of that. I mean, like you
only use
you
auto-tune if
need
it's-
to record. You need to come to the studio ready to go. I mean, I'm an old school. I
There
guess,
might be a tiny
in
bit
that
of
way.
pitch corrections on.
Sure,
Like
sure.
if I blow a note on a good take, if it's a little flat, I'll pitch correct it. But
Sure.
that's it. I won't pitch correct an entire song, and I never auto tune unless it's like you're going for like a pop kind of modern vibe, and
Right.
it's like part of the sound, But-
Right.
Yeah, I hate that, man. When the vocal performance sounds perfect and it's like it's over the top nowadays. By the way, I mean,
Yes.
a lot of reggae songs, it's like, does your voice have literally no vibrato at all? You're just like,
Exactly.
good vibe.
Yeah.
Can't even imitate. Like my voice totally
like,
wavered.
"Oh,
Your voice
you are,
wavers, dude.
you
Voices
are."
wavered. It's like a bagpipe. You can't just hold one note. And it doesn't go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like not natural. And especially if somebody starts singing in a movie, like like a Disney movie,
Yeah.
they put the auto tune on it's like
Oh, yeah.
T-Pain.
Yeah.
I was like, why is the Little Mermaid T-Pain now? Like, it doesn't even sound like it must be a beautiful singer. You picked a beautiful singer.
Yeah.
Let her sing.
Yeah, they got a natural
Yeah,
talent,
it
but
drives me crazy.
yeah, when it comes to the
I
production,
also, I mean, it's not my preference to use programmed drums and everything quantized either. That's what I can afford
Sure.
to do, like, so it's like, it ain't, but like perfect is if you take, Led Zeppelin, what a Cashmere,
Dude,
it,
yeah, that's
it
crazy.
drops 40 BPMs by the
Yeah,
end.
yeah,
It might be Black Dog I'm thinking of, but drops 40 BPMs from the beginning to the end, and nobody noticed. It's
yeah,
pretty gross.
yeah.
But,
Because
but
it's
anyway,
just no. I
speaking
mean,
of Pure Bloods, that song, I was so stoked with the way it came out. I was like, the music is like an ode to like Paul Simon, Americanized Afro rock. I love that sound from the 80s when everyone's
yeah,
doing Afro rock bass lines and stuff.
yeah,
And like I was so stoked to do that and get the beautiful live flute and everything. And like the lyrics just came so nice and smooth for that song. And I
yeah,
wanted to make sure it was like the cutest, funnest, most harmless
yeah.
delivery to kind of keep everything off balance,
For sure. That's great. And that's good songwriting. You know what I mean? Like to give it that much thought, I think I think that's what people don't understand about songwriting is like I remember one time I had a friend of mine like asked me about my lyrics, and then she read my lyrics and she was just like, but I'm a wordsmith. I love words. I have the utmost respect for the English language, like punctuation, grammar. Like my mom taught me that. I'm very astute to very like being everything very correct. And so when I write song lyrics, it's like the biggest meaning I can give anything, but in the smallest amount of words, which I think good songs that's how they're created. And that's what I learned, in a way.
Yeah, that's another thing you can do is whittle down, to that changes the vibe. Sometimes you want to be really verbose and cram all these lyrics in, and sometimes you just want to whittle it down, and that's just like that's just your choice of what you want the vibe.
Yeah.
That's like I always a great reference point is there's a rap group called Group Home from the Gangstar family, and it's like these two young rappers, Little Dap and the Nutcracker. Little Dap is like an unbelievable, like Q-Tip level Nas wordsmith with like a million super flow and clever delivery. And then Malachi the Nutcracker comes in, he's like, I get hype, do what I like, hit your mom in the head with a metal pipe. But the whole thing is just, it's still hype. And it's like, don't assume that's easier. Don't assume that's easier.
Right. They're fitting their parts, like, and even collaborating.
Which is better is totally subjective, but don't even assume the simpler one is easier. It might not.
Exactly. And it's just, they complement each other. You know what I mean? I like that. Yeah. All right. And this is your latest release, basically, right? Stay Cool.
Yeah, this is the first single off the forthcoming album.
Cool. Here we go. This song's great, bro.
Thank you.
Kind of a dance-all beat straight off the top.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Stay cool, mama didn't raise no fool. Don't worry why the other people act like they do. Chilling out no matter how heavy the pressure gets, and never let them see us sweat. You got to stay cool, mama didn't raise no fool. No running in the bed and going out of your head. Bless the herb and hold a meditation, a mental vacation. Boy, listen to me, you better listen to me. Pause before you disrespect your whole family. It only takes 1 minute to lose your reputation. Assess the situation. Pressure me, waves are pressing me down. Screaming underwater, but it don't make a sound. You might as well be swimming while your world is still spinning. Hold your breath and never give in. Stay cool, mama didn't raise no fool. Don't worry why the other people act like they do. Chilling out no matter how heavy the pressure gets, and never let them see us sweat. You got to stay cool, mama didn't raise no fool. No running in the bed and going out of your head. Bless the herb and hold a meditation, a mental vacation. Yeah. Boy,
that's hard, man.
It's a mouthful to sing, bro. That one's hard to do live, I'll tell you.
It sounds like it.
Big breaths.
But I like it's kind of minimal, you know. It's
Yes.
yeah, I hear that.
It's like Helmet. It's like the Helmet of dancehall. It's super minimal.
That's dope.
Lots of negative bass.
Yeah.
Always feeling irate, never feeling irate. Loving everyone and never dealing no hate. Cooler than a polar bear, chilling in ice water. Pressure could be stressing me, but you know that we got to stay cool. Mama didn't raise no fool.
Yeah, man.
That's so great. Yeah, man.
Thank you. Thanks,
yeah.
bro. Yeah.
Of course.
Minimal was the vibe, you know, and to leave lots of room for the and that's a marimba in there. I'd never used a marimba.
Nice.
You know?
Did you play it?
No.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say, I was like, yeah, I never used it.
Logic instrument. I played it on keyboard.
No, yeah.
From my friend Benji, who produced this one.
For sure.
Actually, big two people. This was the only song I ever did that two producers worked on. So Big G and Zion both worked on this one.
It sounds great, and I love that minimal approach. Dude, that's so.
Thank you. It's minimal music and maximal lyrics. Dude.
Yeah.
Like there's some big mouthfuls in there.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I just came up with the hook. I sat down with the guitar maybe like 2 summers ago, last summer, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I was just stay cool. Mama didn't raise no fool. And I was like, oh, that sounds
There
great.
it is. There it is. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Then it's a philosophy song, you know what I mean? So it's you know, hopefully people sing along to it and reflect on the lyrics. It's good advice I can't take.
I
That's
love
exactly what I always do, is fly off of the handle, put my foot in my mouth, pay the price for everything, you know. So, but at least I've learned the lesson well enough to put it into a song. So it might be too late for this old dog to change his tricks, but hopefully somebody can learn from that. You know what I mean?
I hear it, and it's a good message, which more people should probably pay attention to.
I was really stoked with the line, always feeling irie, never feeling irate. I was like, I've never heard anyone put irie and irate together.
That's
So,
dope. That's dope. Well,
yeah,
man,
there's some things in there. There's some little nuanced things for of recording artists and stuff like that. There's some lyrics that are off time on purpose, which is something they'll do. Sometimes it's a little take from different singers, you know, coming in early, line late, like whatever it is, you know.
Nerd shit. music nerd shit.
Sometimes I'll even be like, let me just record that run with no music and no click or anything, and it's like it's gonna fall on the beat, but it's just gonna be I just want to do it that way. So
yeah, for sure. I feel it, man. I feel it. That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you. This is
thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Much love and respect. Thank you for coming on. Tell people where they can find you, please.
My link tree is VBDC, and I'm VBDC on YouTube. If you want to find my music on the platforms, you have to put in the full name of the band, which is Venice Beach Dub Club. And I'm, you know, that's it, man. Coming out with an album this summer, more music videos and stuff like that. So please support. If you want to, you know, if you care about music, then share. You know what I mean? It's a free thing to do, and it helps a lot. Would be appreciated. Sharing is caring. And that's it. Much love to everyone out there for supporting.
Much love and respect to anyone listening, anyone paying attention. This is the Blue Dreamer broadcast. Thank you, Seth. And we'll catch y'all next time. Be on the lookout. Definitely gonna have a new Blue mix after this. It's gonna have reggae tinge to it, so expect that. Thank you. Love, respect. Peace.